Ukraine has been systematically striking Russian oil refineries with long-range drones, creating serious disruptions in fuel supplies and affecting the daily lives of Russian citizens, though these operations have not yet altered the situation on the front lines. According to the New York Times, the drone campaign serves both tactical and psychological purposes, applying pressure on the Kremlin while signaling to international partners Kyiv's determination to continue its fight. Ukrainian forces have mastered the ability to send drones deep into Russian territory, with a focus on oil refining facilities. The objective is not only to disrupt supply chains but also to apply economic and political pressure on Moscow, especially as progress on the ground remains limited. In areas far from the front, Ukrainian operators assemble drones with wingspans of up to 7 meters and payloads of around 50 kilograms, often launching them under the cover of night. The unit's commander, known by the call sign Casper, said that reports of refinery fires appearing after night missions are exactly the intended outcome. Since August, support teams have been launching long-range drone attacks almost daily, targeting vital refinery infrastructure. These strikes aim to achieve what international sanctions have struggled to accomplish, halting production lines that directly affect the availability of gasoline and diesel fuel across Russia. President Volodymyr Zelensky referred to the refinery explosions as a form of quick sanctions, noting that such strikes have an immediate impact on Russia's internal fuel market. NYT reporters were given limited access to one of the long-range drone battalions but were not allowed to disclose specific locations, the number of drones used, or the size of the unit for security reasons. Experts do not classify this campaign as radical, but they emphasize its clear domestic and economic effects. According to estimates from Wood Mackenzie, Ukraine has disabled or damaged refinery capacity amounting to nearly 1.5 million barrels per day, roughly 20% of Russia's total refining output. These strikes have already led to gasoline shortages in several Russian regions and driven up fuel prices by around 40% since the start of the year. As a result, some gas stations have imposed sales limits or temporarily halted gasoline sales altogether. Russian outlets have reported long queues and fuel shortages in Crimea. Moscow's own campaign of targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure, from power plants to transmission lines, was intended to break civilian resilience. Ukraine's counter-strategy, however, deliberately avoids indiscriminate strikes on Russian civilian targets and instead focuses on facilities directly tied to war funding and military logistics. This selective approach helps Kyiv maintain moral legitimacy among its Western allies while limiting the risk of uncontrolled escalation.